All right, you ready? Say it with me. I am limitless. I have an unlimited amount of anything. Everything in my life is perfect. Boom. Those three statements right here are going to guide you towards this moon in Virgo, sun in Cancer realization of the activation of your psychic powers and abilities. Moon in Virgo is an understanding of analysis or an analytical understanding. Last month, we had the analytical understanding of recently activated mindsets with the sun in Gemini. And the month before then, we had an analytical understanding of our natural quality and value when the sun was in Taurus. Well, now we are experiencing an analytical understanding of what? Cancer sun, our psychic awareness. This moon is going to make a 60 to 90 degree Gemini signature angle towards the sun. Why should you be excited? This is what is going to bring, relative to the 0 degree conjunction, the 30 degree manifestation, and the 60 degree expression, all of which is activation coming into 90 to 180 degrees of integration. You are now, let's put it all together, over the next day and a half, coming into a detailed or analytical understanding of the activation of new psychic powers. This is where it happens, all right? And so if you say these three statements and you feel them and focus on nothing more other than that, or just have them run in the back of your mind as a program or code, as magic spells are a lot more like codes, programming languages that once you run, they take effect. You are going to come into detailed understanding of how, as Virgo answers the question, how, I just brushed my teeth, I'm feeling fresh, this takes effect, okay? So we activated the potencia, the poder, the power with Cancer, then we charged it the way you have a solar panel to charge energy. And this is the first time since New Moon that we are blossoming the experience. So we're getting ready to come into a real, tangible experience of psychic power you've activated. We do this every year, so we've never not done this, which means the activation of psychic power is something as natural as breathing. For the purpose of this analogy, you could look at it as a yearly firmware update that we make in the beginning of summer for our emotions and the natural understanding of the depth of our characters. What makes this year different is that the world is ending as we know it, and Saturn in Pisces is now opposing this moon in Virgo to give you a detailed understanding of how the integrity of your non-tangible beliefs influence through your mindset in Gemini the behavioral patterns and physical habits that you from your belief are imagineering into reality. And Jupiter, aka Zeus, the king of the gods, is leveling up your mindset. So this is basically leveling up the programming language you use. Let's say the past 12 years we were using like Python or a basic programming language. Now we're leveling up with a much more advanced programming language. Pluto's in Aquarius. There's a supernatural quality. It's like alien technology. You're not programming the way you did before, but you're taking the practice, insight, and lessons from the past 12 years of programming your brain, which you do consciously or unconsciously. If you do it unconsciously, you're going to call it fate. I think Jung said that, or Freud. And this is what's going to apply previous lessons towards using this new programming outlet. And that's where with the moon in Virgo that will square Jupiter and Gemini and oppose Neptune and Saturn, you are, of course, coming into the analysis. For those of you who actually program, I'm not a programmer. I studied engineering in school, so we had to take certain programming classes, but I never really explored past that. But, you know, from the limited experience I have programming, you understand that there's an experimentation phase where you have to play with different inputs, and then you analyze these inputs through analysis to see what effect the input creates in the output. Based on that analysis, we may have to go back to the drawing board and then see what that does. That's what this day is going to be like, only except this programming basis is the psyche, the power of your mind, and what you will be constantly feeding it. How do you program your brain? Thoughts, Gemini. And these thoughts you're programming with integrate in the form of habits. Do you want to keep these habits? Because that's what you're going to understand with this moon in Virgo. And the beautiful thing about this is you're going to come into a real time, moment to moment analytical understanding about how the mindset and the feelings you are fueling this programming of your brain into is actively producing these results. Albeit, given this analytical understanding, this will be showing you how specifically your mood is reflecting in order to maintain these programs, and how specifically the effect of the power you've activated and the energy you have charged is taking place. This is so very important because once we get into the moon in Libra, we're integrating this. We're now understanding the social balance of how specifically to present what attitude and what power we've just activated before we master it through the God level. And this is going to, opposite Pisces, help you understand if maybe certain aspects of your thought process were really just delusional the whole time. And it's not that being delulu is wrong. Being delulu is only wrong if you don't wish to balance it with what is true, or at least integrate it appropriately, unless that's what you want, because it's really more so about what it is in that moment you're willing to have integrity with and stand by, so you're not complaining other people, or blaming other people. This is what you wanted, right? So the moon in Virgo will give a lot of us reality checks, but it's also going to help you understand how intangible metaphysical principles, mechanics, and beliefs have actually been in play this whole time. You're going to understand what's real about them. And the purpose of this is so that through this analysis, you understand what to maintain and reinforce in this magical mental program that is activating psychic power. All right. Meta-human psychic power. The boundary between base human characteristics and the superpowered Leo heroes. Libra here, Leo with super strength, gaining energy from the sun. Libra with superpowers. I can't believe y'all had superpowers this whole time and I didn't realize until I was 30s. I can't even look at Leo and Libra the same anymore. Y'all actually superhero. Anyway, other than that, yes, okay, the moon in Virgo can bless you with the sense of enhanced synesthesia, especially square Jupiter. I just love saying that word. I don't even know how accurate it is. And this is going to just enable you to be more receptive and sensitive to the details, because Pisces is sensitive as fuck. Virgo is so sensitive, super sensitive. Gemini, we be sensitive, but we're like the only insensitive mutable sign. We're sensitive in that we're insensitive. And a Sagittarius is sensitive. They don't like admitting that, but they sometimes more sensitive than Pisces. We love you, Sag. So the mutability of sensitivity is sensitive not in an emotional way, that's Pisces, but sensitive in a way where you're picking up insight, you're picking up perspectives, you're sensitive to the experiences around you. This is what makes these signs perceptive as fuck. And you're going to understand, wow, I felt this and then this happened. Wow, I felt this and then this happened. Not in a way to micromanage and control, but in a way to let your own programming do the work for you. So this is a very important transit. The 60-degree to 90-degree activation arc develops your attitude about this sincere in Virgo, about this sincere direction we're integrating our characters. So be mindful of everything you come into, because this is a sneak peek of what you'll be mastering by the time we get to September. And this is going to adjust your perspective and change your behavior around power you've activated, a new direction in your character you've activated, so that, of course, once we change this element of our behavior, we can now present the integration of this through Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. So what I'm saying is you're going to experience real magic, and this is going to shock the fuck out of you, especially as this will trine Uranus in Taurus and Mars in Taurus. So you'll be able to take this value and the action off of, grounded values you want to solidify, and you're going to know how to really step more into it because of the data, because of the information, because of the analysis that you are receiving. And I love transits like this because they can speak to your inner skeptic and turn it into a believer, or it could allow this inner critic to really call out beliefs that must be changed to align with some sense of reality, although this experience is not real and or local. Hence the Nobel Peace Prize that was won, I think, the end of 2022 by certain scientists who were playing with some quantum mechanics. And there you go, guys. You're going to get a real understanding of how psychic you are. You're going to get a real understanding of the sincerity of your character and how to adjust it and align it with who you're becoming. And you're going to have a real understanding of the experience of new powers you've activated and what to begin to do with them. All right, moving forward, we're going to come into our second full moon in Capricorn. And that's going to be the understanding of utilizing these psychic powers. So for now, we're going to understand what's real about them and how to activate it. And then the full moon is going to help us understand how to use what we've just activated. So with that being said, this first part of the Cancer new moon is activating the powers. And this next part over the next week is, well, what the fuck to do with them? And that makes this transit very crucial, especially with the innovation, the peak innovation of the Uranus trine that will also be opposing Neptune, shifting elements of your perspective to make you more aware and receptive to metaphysical mechanics that were auto-nervous and you legitimately couldn't perceive because you didn't have the mindset or the processing unit evolved. Let me make sense of that. Basically, it's like trying to run a program on Windows XP that can only be run on Windows 10. So now you've updated your processor to Windows 10. You're going to start to see things that were always there. Your mindset or processor just wasn't there until now. And this is going to enable you to integrate this. Fully expect people to be jealous. There are people who look at you and feel like, oh, I dress better, I'm classier, I know what I'm doing more in these spaces. Why did God anoint them? Why do they have these gifts? Why don't I have these gifts? They're being a stupid, weak little bitch, and you just need to give them the space to continue being stupid and weak. Make sure you know that has nothing to do with you, and keep, expressing the gifts God gave you. You guys stay blessed as always. Until next time, peace.